So, hello everybody, I'm Shannon O'Hara, and this is my amazing, profound father, Gary Douglas. And
hi everybody.
I'm so lucky to, I kind of pulled him aside today because we're together here in beautiful Australia, and I sort of really wanted to make some little videos for you guys with some interesting insights. And so what I know that we would love to talk about today is the beginning of Access. So for those of you guys that don't know, Gary Douglas is the founder of something called Access Consciousness, and you have been such a dynamic inspiration for so many people.
I know, and it's fun.
And it's fun. And so I thought it'd be really interesting to give people a little bit of an insight on what it was like getting in on the ground floor and what it was like in the beginning and how far we've come and how far we're going to go.
What it was like in the beginning was a lot of work with apparently no results. But I had the point of view, never give in, never give up, and never quit. So it's like the first Access classes I did, I actually had gone away. I'd been told about these points on the head, the bars.
Right.
And, it's like I'd been channeling and stuff. So it's like I went to New York. This guy brought me there. And he said, okay, so I want you to do a guided massage for me. And I said, good. Do I have to take off my clothes? Do I have to touch you? No? Okay, fine. Do I get paid? Yes. Good. Okay, no problem.
Right.
So I started channeling this information about how to use the bars.
Right.
And afterwards we went out to lunch, and I was sitting there. He was ordering lunch for us. And I was sitting there, and I heard this. It was like that.
Whack over the top of the head.
Whack over the top of the head. It was like right between the ears. Boing. I don't know how you get it in between the ears.
Right in the center of the hypothalamus.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's right in the center of the brain? The hypothalamus?
Yeah. That's
right in the hypothalamus.
Yes. And it was like from inside out. Okay. But like being hit so strong, saying, this is a class, you dummy. And I went, okay, I got it. It's a class. This is a class. Okay, good. I'll do this again. Just don't do that again. And it's like I got home and I called up 4 of my friends, and I said, I'm giving a class on what? Energy work? And how long is it? 3 nights? And how much is it? $75? I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
So the first few classes, I just channeled, and I did them. And after the first class, I asked one of the guys in the class, I said, so, I'm trying to figure out a name for this. What'd you get out of this? He said, well, I accessed this, I accessed this, I accessed this, and I accessed this. And I said, okay, I got the name. And that's how it became Access. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was about accessing what was actually available to all of us.
Cool. And accessing consciousness, which is a huge conversation.
But I didn't know it was about consciousness in the beginning.
Right. Okay.
It's like I thought that I had to heal people's bodies for them to be able to choose consciousness.
Okay.
That the greatest difficulty we had was overcoming the limitation of our bodies.
Okay.
But I'd bought that from a lot of other modalities I'd done. And so I was trying to heal people's bodies so they could choose.
Right.
And it didn't work.
Well, and that's what's interesting too, because the bars, which is the absolute first part of Access that first started coming through, does this one of the side effects is the healing of the body, but it's not the only side effect.
No, and it's not the primary focus.
Yeah.
It's actually the purpose of the bars is really to teach people to receive something that people don't do on this planet.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, even just hearing you say the purpose of bars is to teach people to receive is sort of like, I can imagine a lot of people hearing this and sort of brushing that off or not even hearing it or getting it, because somehow receiving is never the objective in our lives.
No. I mean, it's like the funny part about it is I've done a lot of spiritual stuff, and they said, an infinite being can perceive, know, and be. Perceive, know, and be. And I kept going, and something was sticking me on it. And so I was with Dane, and I was going, okay, what is this other thing? It's perceive, know, be, and there's something else. And right about that time, a girl in a very pretty red dress with very nice body walked by, and I went, what's that? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, what did you just look at? Well, that girl over there, that's like, I mean, the amount of sexual energy she has, I went, that's it. It's perceive, know, be, and receive. And the lower harmonics of perceiving is thinking. The lower harmonic of being is emotions. The lower harmonic of perceiving is intensity of
feelings.
And so it's like the lower harmonic on this plane is sex or no sex.
The lower harmonic of receiving is sex or no sex.
Yeah. And it's like that was very startling news for me, but it changed everything in Access. And after that, I began to understand why relationships were so difficult for people. Because it's like if you're going to have sex with somebody, you have to receive them.
Right.
You know, and people would always go, well, yes, we've had sex and now we're intimate. Wait a minute. What do you mean we're intimate? I stuck my thing in you, that means we're intimate. How do we get intimate from sticking body parts together?
So when did you first get that Access was actually about consciousness?
Probably not until about a year after I started it.
Oh, that's not very long though. I mean,
well,
that's
it is when you consider how hard I was working.
Well, and that's what's so interesting. The thing I just think back about those first classes that you did. I mean, what a lot of people don't know is that, I mean, you did those out in the converted garage out behind the house. You know, we had a little studio apartment out there, and it was a lovely converted little studio. But you had a bunch of, and these were family friends that came over and did these classes, and you had me and my little sister come and be guinea pigs. And I remember having my bars run for the first time, and I mean, I was 12, I think, 12, 13,
11
something like
12,
that.
somewhere.
And I mean, I had no reference point for that, what that was.
Yeah.
And it was sort of began this the creation of me actually having the possibility of knowing what consciousness is.
Well, it's like the one thing I noticed about it is that after each of those sessions that I forced you to do.
He used to force me to have my bars run so that I would be more pleasant when I was a teenager. I completely understand. I'm grateful that you did it.
Just wait till yours are teenagers and you'll really understand. Because you'll be finding ways to force them too. Because it's really, it's like teenage years are really hard on kids, and they're hard on adults too.
Tip to all parents out there with unruly children: if you have them run their bars at least once a week, they're much more pleasant.
Yes, much more pleasant. I used to get 3.5 weeks of happy Shannon every time you get your bars
right.
on.
And now when I know I'm getting grumpy and out of my mind and cranky and my body doesn't feel right, I know it's because I haven't had my bars run.
Yes, I know. It's like just recently I wanted to kill everybody I would talk to. And I went, okay, I need my bars run. Dang, can you run my bars?
Yeah.
And he did. And oh my God, what a difference. I mean, I went from I hate everybody and I want to kill everybody, where is my machine gun, to, oh, wow, life's pretty good.
Cool. So the bars help us access more consciousness.
Yes. Well, they help unlock us from the place where we've chosen unconsciousness.
Okay.
Because basically what it boils down to is we're taught not to receive and not to be. And if you're really going to receive, you also have to really be. And it's like those are the two things that are intimately tied together in ways that none of us really quite get.
I mean, and it's so interesting, and this is why I really wanted to have this conversation for all of you guys to get to be a part of too, was because, I mean, you really don't learn about receiving and perceiving and being. You don't learn about it in school.
No.
No one really talks about it eloquently enough that you can...
Even in the metaphysical community, they talk about it, but they sort of gloss over it in some way that you don't come away feeling like you actually understand it. You're an infinite being. You can perceive no be and be. Good. What is that? And what do I do with it?
And how do I get there?
Yeah.
How do I for real
And that was the thing that was different for me, is I was such a pragmatist. I remember one time I went away to this event, this metaphysical event that was on the top of a mountain where we slept in soggy, mildewed tents and ate, really not great food.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. And and it's like I went there and the channel was there and I said, okay, so can you tell me what I do to change my financial condition? And the channel starts with, you'll weave on the loom of Maya in the seventh house, the golden thread and the son of the blah, blah, blah. And I go, what the fuck does that mean, and how do I apply that to my life?
Right.
And I got in serious trouble with everybody else there because I was being disrespectful to the channel. And I went, you know what? I think the channel's being disrespectful for me. It's, giving me all this esoteric, cool sounding stuff, but it doesn't mean anything, and I can't apply it. And I went, it's like, there's got to be something different. I went, it's like, and I gave up channeling right after that. I quit channeling because
Right.
I was tired of people coming and saying, will my next boyfriend have blue eyes? Will my house have bougainvillea? How do I find my next house? I went, get a fucking Ouija board.